Welcome back to Liberty and Finance. We're delighted to have a first-time guest today and who's also a sponsoring partner of Liberty and Finance. Will Robinson is the principal geologist with West Red Lake Gold Mining. They are a operator of mines and exploration in Canada, and we're going to talk about why they have been so prolific in their news flow about big things happening there. Will, thanks for coming on Liberty and Finance this first time.
Absolutely. Thanks, Dunnigan.
Even before we got a chance to meet, I have been impressed with the rate of news flow coming out of West Red Lake Gold, because it's not a week or two that passes before I see another story about progress, and some exciting factual discoveries of real high grade ore. And right there, this is a proven region that you guys are operating in there, and your area, some of these mines that you're looking at have operated in the past, and you're looking at putting them back into service. The economics of the current environment seems to be very supportive of that, and looks like it will be for some time going forward. I guess if we could kick off right away with your most recent news, which just came out yesterday, about the intersects of more than 16 grams per ton of gold on certain of your projects, and you could tell us where the projects are located and what these drill results are telling West Red Lake Gold about the prospects there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, the most recent news was just out with some drill results from our South Austin zone. And so that's at the Madsen mine asset, which, as you pointed out, is in northwestern Ontario. Very prolific mining region, lots of history of mining of high-grade gold. Historically, over 30 million ounces have been pulled out of the Red Lake District over the years. And so anyways, the reason why these results are so impactful for us in South Austin is, as you mentioned, they're broad intercepts. They're at very nice grades, overall plus 6 grams. We had a couple over 7 and 8 grams in there. And really what that's giving us is indications in some of these areas that we want to prioritize for early mining, that we have the widths and the grades in place, increasing our confidence in those areas for actual extraction scenarios. So now that we're getting some of these high priority areas defined further with the infill drilling, this was a definition program. It's nice to see the results coming back the way that they are, and further validating our thoughts that some of these areas are going to be highly prospective and worth sequencing in early on in the mining phase.
We mentioned earlier that this is our proven productive region. I just want to read something from your corporate website, which really grabbed my attention. The highly productive Red Lake Gold District of Northwest Ontario, Canada, has yielded over 30 million ounces of gold from high-grade zones and hosts some of the world's richest gold deposits. 30 million ounces is an attention getter, no matter who you are in this industry, or even those who have been stacking gold, like most of our subscribers and viewers, have an appreciation for the fact that proven producers tend to be serially successful. And your region that you're operating in there, and you've got a number of different projects across 2 different major areas within that region. If you could let our audience know how many different mines or prospective areas you're looking in within that region, which is expansive. You can talk to us more about that.
Yeah, our actual land holdings are closer to 70 square kilometers. And so that includes the Madsen land package and the Rowan land package. And so Madsen is our primary focus. And so Madsen itself was a past producer. Historically, they pulled 2 million ounces out of the ground at around 10 grams per ton. So very high grades, pretty exceptional. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit still left behind, actually, from the historic mining that didn't quite make cutoff at those times, but nowadays would be economic. We have other past producers on the Madsen property as well. The Sterrett Olsen mine is literally just down the road from Madsen, about 2 kilometers along the same structure to the southwest. And that asset produced around 160,000 ounces historically. On our Rowan property, we have 3 past producing mines along one main structural trend. And those include the Rowan mine, which is one of our main targets that we did a lot of drilling at last year, a little over 20,000 meters. And then the Red Summit mine, and then the Mount Jamie mine. So as you say, I mean, this district is rich. It has a very rich history of production, and not just gold coming out of the ground, but high grade gold. And the best story for that people know about or may be familiar with would be Goldcorp's days at the Red Lake mine complex proper, when they had the high grade zone discovery, which was just spectacular, and it completely changed the game for Goldcorp and made it into the company that it became. So we're hoping to do something similar at Madsen. We have some targets underground that are a little bit familiar or a little bit similar geologically to the high grade zone, such as our 8 zone, which is one of the higher grade portions of our resource. But yeah, we're pretty excited. And now, over the last year since acquiring the asset, we've been doing a lot of drilling. We've been underground doing that drilling. So we're getting close to the areas that we want to be. And the mine crews have been putting in development and underground infrastructure, getting us to the areas of the deposit that we want to be, that we see as the highest priority. And then now we're shifting gears into kind of the mine restart mode. And so we've got about $50 million in the bank because of a number of successful financings that we've done this year. And we're looking to start acquiring certain capital pieces to put in place, such as a primary crusher. We're doing some underground development in the mine called the connection drift, which will attach the east and the west sides of the mine and be a huge efficiency boost to haulage and things. It'll really be a lifeline for the asset, and a number of other things at camp. So it's pretty exciting now that we're starting to do that, and the exploration will continue. The definition and expansion drilling is continuing, but now we have more things to talk about, milestones to bring to the market as we tick the boxes on a number of these other acquisitions and things, putting the necessary pieces in place for that mine restart, which we're targeting by the second half of next year in 2025. So.
Yeah, that's one of the important things that any exploration, development, and eventually operation company needs to look at is where's the infrastructure going to come from to do the appropriate processing, milling, et cetera. And here you've got an existing mill at Madsen that you're recommissioning for eventual startup second half of next year, it sounds like.
That's right. Yeah, and fully permitted. So that's another big ticket item really for this asset. And one of the main reasons why we wanted to acquire it is having that all the permits in place to go back into production is a huge leg up. It's a big advantage. A new mine would take 10 to 15 years just to permit, let alone build. And we've already got all of those approvals in hand. So that's definitely a huge advantage. And it allows us to turn the key on whenever we feel that we're ready to do that.
Our audience has already heard me tell the story about when we were vacationing in the Black Hills of South Dakota and touring a historic gold mine. But it was during the years when the gold price was so depressed over a decade and a half ago, that they said that the operating gold mine across the street there had shut down completely, was in mothballs. But the environment that we're in right now is especially promising for current and future operations. It looks like the timing of late next year being able to start up expected operations will come in expected to be a very sweet spot in terms of the rewards of the gold price supporting profitability. Can you talk to us about the economic environment and how it looks positioned to help support the success of this restart of the West Red Lake area?
No, absolutely. In this business, timing, you can say timing is everything, at least with making deals. And I know when West Red Lake Gold was formed, the main man behind a lot of that vision was Frank Gistra. And one of the things that he's done very successfully over the years and has made a very, a good name for himself in this industry is getting the timing right. And so we recognize that when we made the Madsen acquisition and formed West Red Lake Gold. And we're not just stopping in Red Lake. We're looking to expand the company and grow the company, by acquiring other assets and becoming a mid-tier gold producer. And that was Frank's vision. And as you say, the dominoes are sort of lining up for us right now as far as the market environment goes. There's a lot of things that are helping to drive gold price higher. We believe that we're in the early innings of the next kind of secular bull market. And all indications are kind of supporting that. So hopefully those tailwinds, as you say, will help us and give us an advantage for when we do restart.
Can you let us know a little bit about the team itself? Because we know that Rick Rule, whom our viewers and subscribers have come to know and trust over the past decade of his monthly appearances on our channel, has already vetted this company and invited it as an exhibitor at the Rule Symposium on Natural Resource Investing next month, which I'll be there in Boca Raton, Florida. And anyone that wants to meet there, be happy to see them. But the fact that he's already scrutinized not only the balance sheet, but the talked about the geology and the promises of the actual resource itself, as well as the management team and their expertise, their ability, their proven ability to turn, as he says, good rocks into good results. Can you talk to us about the management team and why it would have attracted Rick's attention?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it all starts with Shane Williams, our CEO. He's a mine builder by trade. That's his background. He was with Eldorado Gold. He's built mines over in Greece and Turkey. And then he was tasked with building the Lamaque mine in Quebec. And he built that from ground zero to startup within 18 months, on schedule and on budget. All of us really do have mining backgrounds. Our VP of Technical Services, Maurice Mostert, he's a South African. He's worked in some of the deepest gold mines in the world. He spent a lot of time underground. He's a very technically skilled engineer. And so he brings a lot to the table for this restart scenario. And then myself, VP of Exploration for the company, I've done exploration for almost 20 years now. Most recently, I was with Coeur Mining, which is a mid-tier gold and silver producer. So again, having that mining background is important in the scenario that we find ourselves now in Red Lake with the Madsen asset, because it's not just about going out and drilling flashy drill results, even though those are nice. I mean, I love drilling high grade. But really, you have to understand when the rubber hits the road, is what we're drilling going to become potentially a mill feed source and actually move the needle at the asset itself in Madsen. And so our team is very well structured. And then not just on the technical and the mining side, but also on the financial and the marketing side as well. We just brought on Gwen Preston, who has a very long history of working as a mining analyst. So she's looked at a lot of projects and has told a lot of stories very well. And so we're thrilled to have her on board. And then Harpreet Dhaliwal, our CFO, she was with Next Gen Energy and Aris Mining, I believe, before that, and Philo Gold. And so also, very technically skilled and a lot of experience in the mining industry specifically. So yeah, the team is well put together, and you have to have a highly skilled team in place. And it doesn't stop, at the corporate level either. The team that we have at site is also very skilled. A lot of the folks that we have in the upper levels of management at Madsen were there for the Pure Gold days. And so they know, what some of the issues were, where things may have went wrong. And now we're taking those learnings and retain that knowledge. And it's extremely valuable when we're trying to put this thing back in production. And for them, I know it's exciting because now we have the time, we're giving them the support, and we have the financial backing, hopefully to do it right this time. And so it's been a real treat, working with that team as well. So I really wanted to point that out.
Yeah, that was interesting because I heard her giving a talk about the experience of the operators, the team, and that they are ready to go. And with the proper support, the proper backing, they've got a lot of wisdom of how to make this work, and looking forward to seeing the fruition of that coming through. The region that you're in Ontario, South Ontario, not that far from the U.S. border, is one that's in at least a jurisdiction that's been friendly to mining in general. How is the overall infrastructure and environment of available skilled labor, et cetera, in that region to support your potential future restart of operations second half of next year?
It's actually really good. Yeah, Northwest Ontario and just Ontario as a province is very mining friendly. There's a lot of infrastructure in place. We have road access to both projects. A lot of power's in place, hydropower. We're working on establishing that for the restart. But yeah, there's skilled workforce, like just in Red Lake proper. I mean, this, people have been mining there for 100 years. So, it's a generational kind of mining town where people are miners, their fathers are miners, and their fathers' fathers sometimes are miners. And so there's no shortage of skilled workforce. With any startup scenario, though, I mean, finding specific skilled people for different niche type roles to fill for the mine can be challenging, but overall, it's very favorable.
And now I'd like to ask you a question is, if people want to find out more about the company, and I know they can come to the Rural Symposium. And folks, if you do want to attend the Rural Symposium, you can talk to the people from West Red Lake Gold in person, and you can see them give their main presentation. All that you can do it in person, or you can do it virtually. You'll find a link in the description of this video to make it to the conference. But if people want to find out right now more about the company, in addition to going to their website, which we'll put the link to your company website in the description of the video, how should they get in touch with you to find out, have their specific questions answered?
Yeah, we have, on all of our press releases at the bottom, we have a connection with Freddie Lay, who's one of our investor relations people. And you can contact Freddie. Feel free to reach out to me directly if you'd like, wrobinson@wrlgold.com. I'd be happy to answer any technical questions you might have. And I know Shane's very transparent, open, Maurice, the whole team really. So any avenue that you choose. But I would say if you don't find it on the website, what you're looking for, you can reach out to Freddie or Glenn now as our marketing and IR person, or myself. I'm happy to answer any questions.
And one final personal question is, how did you become a treasure hunter? It's pretty exciting. Walking the ground where there's 30 million ounces of gold have been pulled out of the ground. How did you come into that neck of the woods?
Well, in Northwest Ontario, I mean, it was really, I was with Core Mining before, and I transitioned away from that company. And then I put the feelers out and got in touch with a few of my contacts in industry, and it happened very quickly. But just as a gold explorer in general, so I grew up in Southeast Alaska, and I was a commercial fisherman seasonally before I was a geologist. And I did one summer, program flying around in helicopters in the jungle, basically of Southeast Alaska, grabbing rocks, taking samples, and just loved it. And I said, this seems like a pretty fun thing to do for a living. And so, the academia followed and just kind of continued with it. And it's been a great ride. I love my job. I love what I do. It's a lot of fun.
Well, a lot of our viewers and subscribers are interested in having ownership of real things, and they're wary of some of the debt-based, our fiat currency, the direction that they see a lot of aspects of our modern world heading, but interested in things that last and things that are enduring, things that have proven value. That's our emphasis on real sound money, precious metals, etc., has been a strong influence and interest among all of our subscribers and viewers. They're interested in, especially now that we're looking like we're really in a secular bull market for the precious metals, from the historical statistics that typically high quality mining or development companies can move at multiples of the precious metals market itself, sometimes 3x or so for gold, are interested in knowing if that's maybe a right place to be before the crowd figures it out and tries to crowd into ownership of these fairly small pool of stocks that are available. And even a smaller pool, if you consider that Rick Rule, says that maybe 1 in 100 or even 1 in 1,000 are going to have the best prospects, and those are the ones he invites to his conference. So that's why I'm reaching out to our viewers and subscribers and introducing them to West Red Lake Gold. It's one of the ones that Rick Rule has done his diligence on, and we'll also put a link in the description of this video to a pre-conference interview that he did about that, so that they can get more insight, more information. And any final thoughts that you'd like to leave with our audience as they're contemplating finding out more about West Red Lake Gold?
No, I think, the points that you had with selecting the right equities can give you a little bit more torque, right? If you time it right, and if you select the right companies, and that's very important. I think, Rick Rule Symposium would be a good place to start for anybody, thinking about investing in the space. Like, as you said, all the companies have been vetted by Rick personally. So that's definitely something of value. For West Red Lake Gold specifically, we find ourselves in a unique position because we're just about to make that transition from going from explorer developer into producer. And so that poses a particularly attractive investment opportunity in our minds. There's usually a step change that occurs based on that. And so West Red Lake Gold, anybody that goes to the Boca Raton conference, I know that Shane Williams will be there. And I know he'd be happy to speak with any of your subscribers or any of the listeners on this podcast.
Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing West Red Lake Gold there again this year. And as always, folks, this is a new one, and it's got a lot of promise because it's got all of the backing of the proven area, proven assets, proven team, and looks like it's going to be ready to go. Plans are 1 year from now or so, getting ready to transition into operations. Exciting times, and exciting time in the metals market. And we're just grateful for your presence here, Will Robinson, the principal geologist and sounds like head of exploration there at West Red Lake Gold.
Great. Thanks, Don, again.